Hello and welcome to the Stanley Parable. I played the demo before, but not the actual game, so. Yeah, close enough. Current time. Why the hell does that matter? No, giving away my time zone. Okay, cool. Doesn't sound too loud just yet, so. It's preemptively set to 80. All right, start the game. I'm gonna try and cheat really early on.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Good thing it wasn't
Employee
42.
number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
All right.
Stanley was happy.
Not quite sure why, but okay.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
So now he needs to think for himself.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Weird
All
that
his co-workers were gone.
Right
What could it
click
mean?
is go forward.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where is the meeting room?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Sure.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Coffee nut.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Penalty for misuse of cargo lift. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Your mom?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
The door's always... Oh, this one doesn't lock on me. Cool. Oh,
That's
God.
her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Hello. What?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on.
Oh, wow, what a
think
douche.
You had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you.
You
I'm
douche.
trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come
But you're a
inside.
prick.
Let me show you what's really going on here.
Fine, douchebag.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown.
Why would I do that?
Fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful.
Wonderful,
And each day that he returned to work
wonderful.
was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Now let's get out of this small box. Z.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Spend time with the
he went
boys.
further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Yep.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
Yes, I
Down
did.
one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be?
Maybe.
Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
Oh,
He
great.
won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, The next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
What can I do now? Like, it's not like I can even jump or explore or anything.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Use a mirror?
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Well, I guess I gotta actually listen
Stanley
to this
decided to go
douchebag.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go
Not
up to
cost
his
efficient.
boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, let it ball up inside you, take it out passive aggressively at other coworkers, resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Yep. What do people want? Things, money, more money. Things? Graphs about things and money. We have our product. Teenagers. Size of demographic, space between teenagers.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm going down. Hi, Laurie, at work? I don't want to read that tiny of text. Fuck it. Too small.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Like this being a loop?
For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
That's a good question.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Oh, dear God.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Yep, I'm in a loop.
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue.
I am crazy.
He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Maybe.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
So what can I do now?
He imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head.
And what was
One
that?
he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head
that's a good
dictating
question.
everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing
inner
itself
monologue?
being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it
Very
all very
strange.
odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
I mean, maybe, but I'm still
Stanley
stuck in a
is
loop
as
now.
awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Stay woke, Stanley.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
Wake up.
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want.
I mean, yeah, I want
I
to push
want
buttons.
my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
You don't have a wife.
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Are you, though? Oh, cool. Oh, God.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just
Oh, dear
someone
God.
tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, great. Begin again, begin again.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew.
How would she know that he's
Everyone
crazy just from
knows
that?
what crazy people look like.
Okay, sure.
And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
Poor Stanley.
And then she turned and ran.
Hopefully not in heels, or else you'd probably trip. I think I want to start listening to him, to the voice
What could it
more.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
Nope, empty.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, man, you have a nice looking place up here, boss. What the hell? Why is someone... Business strategy is gunning down pandas? What? I'm the most expensive boss. Okay, boss.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
Oh.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Can I go back yet, or... Nope, locked. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Kind of bothers me that I can't jump in this game. Like, I kind of want a mod for that.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Am I gonna get to start playing?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large
cool.
door that read Mind Control Facility.
Fine. Oh, God damn it. Whee!
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Sure. Tap, tap. Buttons.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Oh.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
And also, no one's in their thing. I kind of don't like how it's not uniform. That bothers me a little bit. Oh, this is kind of like the oh, employee 104 is fired. Nice. Wait. I'm 427, so not fired. I want to see if I'm fired or not. Okay, I'm not fired at least. That's cool.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Don't see why
Had
not.
Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
I mean,
was this
kinda.
the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I mean, kinda.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
Whee!
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
I mean, it
Had he
is.
truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Kinda.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and
Do I even know
for
how?
all.
I mean, there's facility power. Waiting input. System power.
And when at last he found the source of the... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Maybe.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yes.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave.
Now
If
what?
you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent,
Uh-oh.
Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind.
Oh,
what
screw
a
you.
shame we have so little time left to enjoy it.
Oh, fuck you,
Mere
douche.
moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of
Super Earth?
solace before you're obliterated?
Maybe.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone
You're a
inside,
sadistic
or I let it
douchebag
burn to a
narrator.
crisp. I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing
yeah,
right
a little
now?
bit.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off?
Bit of
look
both.
at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only
douche.
still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
You are quite the
This is not a
douchebag here.
challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until
Great.
the moment I say, happily ever after.
Boom. Well, that's fun.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, that's it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yes. Come on, just give me a bit of time.
Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yep.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
What's down here?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He
Boring.
wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Yep.
So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Oh, fuck you.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's
Narrator's
clearly...
a prick.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Sure.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
All right, let's go down here, I guess. Oh, God, back to this room.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable.
Now what?
How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
God damn it.
And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
God damn it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I mean, maybe. And maybe that could be it.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did
No.
you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
Yeah, you dum-dum.
It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
All right, cool. Am I already stuck in a loop again? I think I... Yeah, oh dear God.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
And this is all on you,
Well, I find it
douchebag.
unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
God damn, you're the one who fucked up here, dude.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse.
Yeah, good job.
I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Don't think so, but...
Aha! I knew we'd miss something.
What?
The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
You're bad at this, Mr. What the? Oh, god damn it. I stepped into a
Now
crack
this...
then.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Hooray!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
All right, game's over.
No.
Oh.
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some
Oh, come
people
on.
win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got
There
a
we go.
solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help
I gotta take a little break. BRB. All right, back.
of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
This is different, but okay.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put
Yeah.
it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on.
No.
That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
I feel like
You know
people...
what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Maybe. I don't know about this. Audio. There really isn't a lot of music so far, so... That's actually pretty good, though. Okay, that's bearable, I think.
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
What? Why?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
I don't believe you.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
I need to get a better drink next time. This one doesn't... It tastes kind of weird.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is
Yep.
any of this ringing a bell?
No.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you...
Hey, man, you're the one that's fucking it
everything
up,
we've been
not me.
through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
God damn it.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why
I don't
can't
know
we
about
make
you,
up
man.
our
You're kind
own
of dumb.
story?
You're really bad at
Something
this.
exciting, daring, mysterious. Oh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Sure.
Now, yes, this is exciting.
No, it's
Just
not.
me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go
Empty
wild.
halls.
Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again.
Yep.
Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
No, I'll follow
lines
it.
or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess I can't go up. Yeah, I can't go there.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just
Come on.
walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere. which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going?
Maybe.
Since the answer is clear yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley. Our destiny
That's not how it
awaits.
Okay, fine. Just open the damn door, dude. Oh, great. The confusion ending.
Hold up, what's this?
Fifth restart, third restart.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed
17
to
minutes.
restart the game eight times?
Yep.
That's really how all this goes?
Yep.
It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
Yep.
Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
Yes.
No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on.
Then
I don't
don't.
want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
I mean, I could.
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we
Eventually,
even know?
nonsense philosophy music.
Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
Yep.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the meantime, if you
Well, and now he's gonna forget about it.
just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Great.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Yes.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yep.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art.
It's a little bit
What
different.
was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley?
It's blue.
Its grace? Its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
Coffee?
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and
Yep.
got back on track.
Yeah, this took a while to get
Yet
back on
there
track.
was not a single person here either.
Nope.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his
Yep.
boss's office.
We're doing it. Ooh. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Extreme bathrooms. I mean, it has like this nice bath rug and it's kind of spacious, but like, I don't even see a bidet here. The bidet, or it's bidet. I don't see a bidet. Only one hand towel. There's a plant. Like, this is not that nice of a bathroom. Like, it's okay, but given like the rest of this guy's little like area here, you'd expect a lot better. I'm like, come on. Let's try and go to the elevator this time. I have control! This isn't gonna stop, is it? Well, that was something, I guess. No control.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be?
Does it change, or did I just not remember?
This keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Hopefully I'm not back in the confusion ending. Wasn't too fond of that.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I don't know.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Well, now I'm curious.
Nope, still on board with death.
Yep. Escape.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward.
Yes, I am.
And willingly confront his death.
Well, you say it's death. I don't know that it is death. Okay, this is death. Whee!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, it reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man.
That's what still hurt.
So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Uh-oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Good question.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Kevin Brighting. This is kind of interesting, I guess. The set of the two doors was the very first step of the design. The rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, or an explanation of the contradiction this room posed. Filing cabinets. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in good time. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. Path from Stanley's office to the 2 doors was just the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains identical to the first iteration. Okay. Nature paintings. Well, that's nice. Button sounds. Selection of sounds was used when buttons are pressed. Okay. This is one of the endings, I guess, then. Maintenance room, an early version of the maintenance room. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and wage war against the narrator. I realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for this tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as us making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Ultra Deluxe. Yep. The lounge. An early version of the lounge. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these for promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Game design mockup. This level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, is a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from the mockup is still there. Countdown room. An early version of the countdown room. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down and placed the two wings together instead. Countdown desk. The freedom ending has existed in beta. I still gotta check out some of this shit. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do. So it just got frustrating for everyone. Zending. Okay. Zending. Fake levers. Static. I don't care that much about watching a trailer for the game I'm playing, or an early version of it, whatever. Like, the other stuff, there's something to it, I guess. Maintenance layout. Meeting room. The apartment timer. Interesting. Different ending. I don't think this is spoiling too much for the existing game, which is kind of good, I guess. So this is, I'm assuming, one of the endings. It only makes sense to be one of them.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Now what?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Kinda.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking
I'm kind of surprised I haven't gotten a single...
This is the story. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content? What?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I wonder if this is new because it's in the deluxe edition, or just because I beat the game in some... Actually, gotta see. Did I get any achievements so far on this stupid thing? You can't jump. Hmm. Wow. There's a 4-minute... wait. So, commitment to play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday? What? At least none of them are locked.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Yeah.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Uh-huh.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Uh-huh.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Why do I have a feeling it's going to be nothing?
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we...
Great.
Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
I didn't really go through and win the proper way. Like for the first one.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, oh, okay.
I mean,
Let's
to be
see
fair, the
content.
main game
Give me
is
the
also kind of
content,
tedious.
Stanley. All right, let's see, it's the jump circle?
Can finally jump in the game. Mm-hmm. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right.
Is that it?
I mean, I wanted to
Surely
jump.
that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator.
Yep.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good.
We'll see.
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally.
It would be funny if they updated that to X.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Well, begin to get... Wait! This isn't the same.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Fine. Uh-oh. Ouch. The end is never.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then,
The
video
Last
games
of
had
Us
integrity.
story.
Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Our first car, our first kiss, my first car, the release of the Stanley Parable in 2013. I'm not sure if that's a SpongeBob reference or not. Smile because it happened. I actually played the demo. New video game New York Times. Creator surprisingly down to earth. Business leaders pushing election on council allies. Colleges show uneven effort to enroll poor.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
God damn it, let me out of here.
It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing.
I gotta
no
pick
games at
Persona
all.
3.
It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Well, can't go there, I guess. The original remake, what?
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect.
It
didn't
though?
need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Let's see. Well, so much for that.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
You can do that. Yeah,
hang on.
duh.
I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Oh, this is junky.
What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no.
Steam
Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Not recommended to.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Must have avoided a lot of that, or I don't know, like the philosophical insights. Nope, another not recommended. Oof.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
I mean, you are.
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't.
I think the game would...
What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't... What's this one got to say?
Yep.
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long...
Yep, that's one of the problems.
...explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Oh, thank God.
And here it is. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it...
Yeah, please.
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's...
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45...
Yeah, stop this.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
Yeah, I'm going to keep pressing this.
I've been sitting here.
I understand that...
Oh, hello. It's you.
Great.
You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've...
I'm not sure if the game realizes it, but those like negative Steam reviews, they kind of don't seem completely illegitimate. I don't know. Maybe like you really gotta follow him or follow the rules for the first like part of the game, but otherwise it's just, what the hell is that? Is there a smoke alert? I don't know if
But
that.
they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth.
God damn it. So there's that meme where, you know, Peter Griffin and Family Guy says, I do not care for the Godfather, it insists upon itself. This game might be doing that.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Alright, I guess we start out. Oh, god damn it. I'm not going down the damn vent again. That way sucks, dude.
Come
Boring
over
as
here.
shit.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine.
No.
You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
Dude, you're a dork. Stop calling the damn kettle black is what that is. Where is the 430 door? Hmm.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he
Yep.
entered the door on his left.
Okay, I'm gonna try to obey him at every turn here.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You can't finish this game in 5 minutes. So...
The moment he entered his manager's
2,
office,
8, 4, 5.
Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible,
Yep.
he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Good.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Boing, boing.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated,
Yeah,
Stanley
open it up.
calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Yeah, don't try to escape again this time, I guess. Can listen to him entirely.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yep.
The lights
think
rose
of
on
the-
an enormous room packed
like
with
a panopticon
television
or something.
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah, I have the strength to figure it out. Blah, 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 blah.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them,
Yeah, it kind
eternally
of gives
monitored in this
Panopticon
place
vibes.
where freedom meant nothing.
Let me get back to that room.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Yeah.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? that his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I'm gonna get one more ending and
He
then
refused to
hop onto
believe it.
another game.
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was
Of course not.
unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Let me get where I need to go, game. Come on.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this
Yeah, no,
very
I'm gonna
place.
turn this shit off
And
now.
as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would
Is that the end now already, or what? Or a version of the ending? Is this like credit? I mean, I already saw
blackness
credits.
and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Oh god, he's back.
Was it over?
Yeah, don't think so. Maybe.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or
Freedom!
how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Come on, let me leave.
Stanley felt
Freedom.
the cool breeze upon his skin.
Freedom!
The feeling of liberation. The immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Wow, I really fucked myself when I hit that on button, huh? So yeah, that's beating the main game. Alright, so from my understanding, there's also an achievement for just getting back to this game. I don't know. The narrator is kind of long-winded. We'll see if I want to get back to this. Maybe. Well, bye for now.